I think thank you so much. It feels a little different now. I've been doing this on an online world, Zoom world now. Very different, very excited. Seeing people in person, interacting. I think there is a lot of value to this kind of serendipity, which we lose on Zoom. Otherwise, also we also run an online business. So very, very excited, and thanks so much for Images Group in terms of organizing this. Coming to directly to the topic, before coming to the topic, I'll say that I have been in this space for almost now 5 odd years. I used to be with Bombay Shaving Company prior to this, which has now become a decently large men's grooming brand in the country. And in 2019-18, I think we used to speak a lot about D2C, whether it will happen in India, whether that's the space to be. And I remember in 2020, when COVID struck us, I was probably privy to a lot of first-party data, and we were seeing e-commerce boom, after the first COVID wave. And that's where at least I realized that in India, e-commerce will significantly happen outside of Amazon, Flipkart as well. Of that, some of that will come from D2C. And from those days when we had a lot of naysayers in the market who said that D2C is not for India, ye India mein nahi chalega, China doesn't have anything like this. So, and today, in the last 1.5 years, from extreme pessimism that this is not going to work or this is not for India, to now where we are extremely exuberant about that this is the space to be in. I think the right answer is somewhere in between. This is largely a function of capital markets playing it, booming the wave. But the answer, at least from a thematic point of view, is very clear that India is a heterogeneous market. We will continue to see a lot of D2C brands continue to thrive. We might not see, and I was telling someone that I am pretty certain that we're going to see 25 Boats Mama Earths in next 3-4 years. And just I think pulling up some slides here. So the right graph is about how e-commerce has grown in the country. And why I wanted to share is that everyone says that D2C is going to be $100 billion opportunity, and then we all feel that no, this is not a realistic number. I'll just give you historic context to it. That I think if some of you had read the Indus Valley report, which recently came out. So 2014, India e-commerce was $4 billion. That's all. And 2021, we've clocked $55 billion. So that's already 15x growth. And what it also means is that early mover audiences are on e-commerce. Already building blocks are starting to be there. And if you look at it in that context, 50 going to $350 billion in e-commerce is only 6-7x. So that looks very plausible. We've done the journey from, or the initial, as it is said, that first millions are difficult, first 100 customers are difficult. So we've done the tough part. Now I think what is going to happen is consumer is hooked, and we have our sales scenes. My friend, when he joined us, he himself said that I have doubts whether D2C is going to become big. To now, he himself has started to shop. So, we've seen the change, world change. Let's just go back one. Yeah, and I think we've seen the world change, and we will continue to see some of these events which will continue to come up. So, for example, COVID, nobody would have predicted, but I think that's what catapulted the growth. I think one big event which is coming our way is data privacy, wherein we're going to enter the cookieless world, and the first-party data is going to become even more important. If people were thinking that that's not strategic to us or we can do without it, I think we are clearly moving to that space. And what has also happened is marketplaces have started to become expensive. Any retailer, when they start, they hook the brands with lower incomes, lower commissions, etc. And then when they mature, they start to charge more, which I'm sure that all of us have started to experience. And then, you will start to feel that, okay, D2C is much more profitable to begin with. Yeah. The way at least we see the growth specifically from D2C is that today, 5% of the revenues of a D2C brand comes from direct-to-consumer own website. You will see that over time, that number will increase to 25%. as audiences expand, as better tools emerge, that is going to expand. That's the target. And how that's going to happen, I think that's where players or enablers like us come in. And I wanted to spend a minute on this that, while this has become a very new term, D2C e-commerce enablers, it has always been there. Think of it like those players who enable you to bring down your cost, help you grow, and I think which we are going to cover in the next slide, that what are the problems which are there and which e-commerce enabler solves for. So I think from a problem perspective, we all know that if you go about pre-checkout, rising CACs, low trust, I think those are big problems, specifically in a country which is already has a large trust deficit. So, start to look at it from a pre-checkout space, and you will find many, many such players in e-commerce enablement space which have come up. So, right from e-commerce tech stacks, which is WooCommerce, Magento, Shopify, Shoptimize, then social commerce players are emerging. So think of it like, there are e-commerce enablement players which help you get traffic and serve them when they are on the website. Then, there are platforms which help you convert better, right? If somebody has come to your website, now who can help you convert better? So that's where we come in, and payment gateways come in, a lot of support services come in. And we're going to see a new wave in terms of headless commerce, which is where, the back end and the front end is going to get disintegrated. Similarly, on the post-checkout space, which is very unique for our country, wherein we have a larger, 60-70% of our e-commerce transactions, if not more, happen on cash on delivery. And that suffers from, one of these interesting, very India-specific indigenous problem of RTO. So you'll see a bunch of people trying to solve for that. It's a hard problem to be cracked, and in our view, it's a large consumer intent problem more than a logistic problem. Of course, CRM solutions, and I see a lot of investment from D2C brands going towards CRM, support functions. Yeah. And just quickly explaining the funnel, that where we are, what do we solve for? As I said that, if you look at number one websites or gold star standards, typically you will see 10 to 12% of visitors are converted into add to carts. And then post add to cart, typically you will see 25% people converting. So eventually leading to a 3 to 4% conversion rate for a standard $10 AOV. Where we come in is that we are in the business of optimizing for conversions. So if somebody is there on your website, how can we capture intent better, help them become your customer? And we solve for various different problem statements in terms of adding more to carts, pre-filling addresses, eventually ensuring that more orders are delivered, weeding out the bad actors, ensuring that some of the conversion rates from a payment point of view are guaranteed. But these are some of the problem statements which we cover. My colleague will cover in terms of the solutions. But largely solving for anyone who's on the website, can we help you convert better and true conversions?
Yeah. So, see, in India, typically the first experience or e-commerce experience which a customer gets is maybe on an Amazon or Flipkart. So when they move towards a D2C brand to do their first transactions, they typically think that, okay, whatever experience I'll get on a D2C website will be similar to a Amazon or a Flipkart, which are mostly tech companies who are basically into commerce. So we thought, let's work on the problem statement which pinches every D2C companies in their journey. Okay, so that is why the solutions which we have built are around three problem statements. First, how can we improve checkout as a solution, where we have built checkouts around UPI and COD, which covers almost 80 to 90% of all the transactions on any D2C website. Similarly, we have built global checkouts so that you don't have to enter your details again and again if you transact on 10, 15 different websites. Similarly, in India, if you go to tier 3, tier 4 town, there is a huge need of assisted checkouts. All right, because people are still not very savvy of how a transaction goes through. So assisted checkouts, voice-enabled checkouts. So we are building multiple products around it. Similarly, in payments, how can we guarantee that a payment will go through? All right, so building solutions around it. Similarly, personalizing transactions. If you are an avid credit card customer, so everywhere you'll go, you'll see a credit card payment option. Similarly, if you are a BNPL customer, you'll have a basically pre-approved limit on any D2C website you go so that you can pay via a BNPL option. Similarly, when we talk about what are the leakages for any e-commerce companies, RTO is one of the biggest pain point for COD transactions. So we build solutions that how can we reduce RTOs. Similarly, if you talk about consumer good brands, there are problems like, what do we say? The identity fraud. It's a big problem for companies like Samsung and all, where you don't know whether the end customer is a customer or a retailer who are basically placing orders when a discount is running. So basically, we are trying to cover all these basically problems in a more holistic way, so that overall conversion of a partner increases. So yeah, so this is what GoKwik does, and we've been doing for the last 1.5 years now, catering. We have already given these solutions to over 250 brands, growing pretty fast. And as the D2C is growing, we want to be one of the enablers who help them during their growth journey. Yeah. Thank you from our side.
Thank you.
Happy to take any questions if you have. Maybe we can connect offline. Yeah.
Any questions? That's Chirag and Abhishek, so you can always catch them. Right, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.